tonight? All right, I don't think everybody heard the instructions. Let's get on over here. We're having a party. We are rallying for our rights. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been looking around this event and it seems like every single cool person I know in Allegheny County is here tonight. So Allians are in really good company. We are going to hear from some fabulous candidates, some fabulous speakers. And really what I want you all to remember tonight is, all right, I'm riled up and I'm ready to go, but what am I going to do next? How am I going to make sure that I protect the rights of my neighbors, that we protect Allegheny County for generations to come? And so with that, we are going to kick off with a pretty awesome slate of judicial candidates back here behind me. We are going to have a judicial forum featuring Judge Dan McCaffrey, Jill Beck, and Patrick Sweeney. So I know a lot of the time we get caught up in what's happening in Washington, D.C., what's going on with our federal level of government, but what's really going to affect your life the most is what's happening in your own backyard. The statewide courts in Pennsylvania are really up for control this year. We need to keep control. We need to gain control. We need to do whatever we can. We have seen cases going in front of these statewide courts. We need to set precedents so that our local level legislators can continue fighting for all of us. So, let me tell you a little bit about this slate we have here. First of all, Judge Dan McCaffrey is our Democratic nominee for Pennsylvania Supreme Court. I personally am a little familiar with the Pennsylvania Supreme Court because Donald Trump sued me in 2020 and that's where the case went to. Judge Dan McCaffrey served as the Assistant District Attorney in the Philadelphia's District Attorney's Office. He was elected to the Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas and later was elected Judge of the Pennsylvania Superior Court. Judge Daniel McCaffrey is currently the only military veteran on the Pennsylvania appellate courts. The Supreme Court appointed him to serve on the Court of Judicial Discipline to adjudicate all actions brought against judicial officers in Pennsylvania. I am so excited. Let's give it up for our Democratic nominee for Pennsylvania Supreme Court, Judge Dan McCaffrey. And next, a woman who needs no introduction. We have Jill Beck, one of our two Democratic nominees for the two open seats on the Pennsylvania Superior Court. I know and you know that we are all going to be out on those doors in November making sure we send Jill Beck and Tamika Lane to fight for all of us on the Superior Court. Especially since you'll be gone because you'll be on the Supreme Court, right? Yeah, all right.
Another opening.
At the start of her career, Jill legally represented abused and neglected children in court proceedings, also working to ensure that their basic human needs were met. She spent 10 years as a law clerk at the Superior Court in the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. She's currently a civil litigator, and she continues to help the underserved in Pennsylvania's legal system. Let's give it up for our Democratic nominee for Pennsylvania Superior Court, Jill Beck. Next, Patrick Sweeney. I could go on for about 2 hours about this guy, but I'm going to stick to the script tonight, all right? Patrick Sweeney has been a public defender in Allegheny County for 25 years. We love public defenders up in here. He works tirelessly on behalf of clients and has appeared in every division of the Court of Common Pleas. Alongside his legal career, he is the bargaining unit secretary of the United Steelworkers, Local 3403-74. Let's give it up for the union workers in the house. And again, let me hear a round of applause for our Democratic nominee for the Allegheny County Court of Common Pleas, Patrick Sweeney. All right, now I have a couple questions. If you guys are cool with that, you guys want to hear from the candidates a little bit? Yeah. All right. So first, Patrick, this one's for you. Explain how courts can affect the average citizen.
Well, as a public defender, I represent very much average citizens, but I think every person that is impacted by the courts, unfortunately, they're impacted in a way that is somewhat negative. If you're a defendant in criminal court, you certainly don't want to be there. If you're the victim of a crime, you're not real happy about having been a crime victim in the first place. If you're a witness to a case and you've been subpoenaed to come to court to testify, you might have to take off work. You don't necessarily receive a great deal of compensation to do that. And that's just in criminal court. The four divisions that were mentioned earlier, there's family court, there's orphans court. Orphans court deals with guardianships and mentally incapacitated people. Civil division, of course, are your lawsuits, slip and falls, asbestos cases, anything involving money. If you trip on the way into the courthouse and you sue the county, that would end up in civil division. Family court is now our largest division. It deals with divorces, it deals with custody fights, it deals with any type of law involving juveniles, whether it be juvenile criminal delinquency or juvenile dependency for kids that are having trouble adjusting. I guarantee you that everyone who goes into that family court building is not happy about being there at all. When I started with the Public Defender's Office 26 almost years ago, there was only one floor in the court system that had metal detectors, and that was the 6th floor of the city county building, which is where the family courts were at that time. And they had this display of all the weapons that they confiscated. But you could walk into any courthouse and walk into any courtroom without going through a metal detector. But family court is so intense, and everyone's so miserable about being there because you're there because your family's falling apart. You're in trouble. You're in trouble with the law. You're in trouble at school. Your marriage is dissolving, or you're having a custody fight. No one's happy about being involved in the court system if that is involved. As judges and as lawyers who represent people that are in that, we do the best we can to try and ameliorate the misery and the suffering of it. And we also have to pay a great deal of attention to people's rights. Every single day, of course, I'm going into court on behalf of people that have a right to a trial. They have a right to be considered presumed innocent as a matter of law. The judge certainly presiding over the case must guarantee that, but we go a step further and guarantee they have a lawyer who's going to stand up and advocate for them as well. And that's where I come in for the people that can't afford their own lawyer. But everyone else who can afford their own lawyer, has the right to retain their counsel and have that person speak on their behalf. Hearing my time is up. Basically, what happens in the common pleas level are crises and dispute resolution, and that's what we do every single day. And we do the best we can to help these disputes be resolved in a way that everyone leaves the courthouse feeling that they have been heard and feeling that they have received some kind of justice, no matter what the outcome was.